In this video, we're going to be quickly recapping some concepts that I talked about on my live stream this morning over market structure, when things are trending versus when things are going sideways, and how to differentiate between the two, even if it's happening at the same time. So let's go and dive into today's video. And there's a run of the highs, boys. See what buyers are doing here, huh? Yeah, we got some sellers trying to come through. This portion of the move, not super strong. We'll see if they can hold it still. Like even now, we have had a nice little grind up, right? We came back down, we pushed, we're coming back down. Even coming back down in here, I'm not looking for a long, purely because we're just right back in the middle of the range. I want to see us push again. And then once we really clear this, and then we come back down, I'd be more interested in longs near like up here. But getting into a long in the middle of the chop range around VWAP and point of control, because I think it's going to go back up when really it's in the middle of the range. It could get totally slapped. Is not interesting to me. More continuation base? No, not even continuation base. It's just like, how, again, cheap trade. Does it make sense to get into a long in the middle of a range? Just blanket statement. If we're ranging, where does it make sense to get into a long? The bottom of the range. If we're ranging, where does it make sense to get into a short? At the top of the range. If you think that we are trending, where do you get in on trend buys? On a pullback. So if it's not fully established that we are trending, it's like short term we're trending, but the full day session we're still ranging. What does that mean? If short term we're trending, so you're looking to buy pullbacks, but on the current session we're still in the middle of the range, it means don't take a trade, for me at least. Because I don't want to take a long in the middle of the range if we're actually ranging. And just because the short-term trend is trending, but we have not popped out of the daily range so far, it doesn't make sense to buy a long on a pullback, even though it might end up making sense, right? We could push really nicely, but the coin flip of us coming back down is just as high. That's just like using some market structure, I guess, to like think through things. It's like, if I was to cover up this section right here, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. Well, basically this section from 850, like this little chop zone, right? If I was to cover that up and I was just looking at this move, yes, you want to buy it, right? Potentially buy it at 307 VWAP, right? But when you actually look at the whole session that we've had so far, it's just choppy. And then you end up buying the middle of the chop when we could rotate down to 86. Very quickly and very easily, honestly. And look, what did we just talk about? Even though the 1 minute is trending up, I'm not going to buy a pullback into this or VWAP because the daily session is still ranging. Since 8:30, we're still ranging. And what do? We slap right through it, and we're making our way down into the bottom of the range. So me being able to see the kind of the bigger picture, even though the 1 minute looked nice, the bigger picture did not look nice. That saves me a loss, saves me some points as we come back into the range. All right, if you like the little short-term class on market structure, if you can even call it that, I think that's a class on market structure. That's what we're talking about. Make sure you press the thumbs up button down below. Let's get to 420. A little class on avoiding getting wrecked based on a short-term move.